Somewhere in Korea, there is an Awaken who is seriously injured. His name is Kaiden. The reason he was injured was because he was attacked by many powerful Awakens and attacked him together. He is on the run and must hide if he wants to restore his strength. If he kept running, they would still give chase and he wouldn't be able to recover his strength. When he was looking for a place to hide, he saw a fat cat. According to him, this idea will work and can make him able to hide while erasing his presence. His name is Jiwoo, a high school boy who is kind and full of energy. He is a person who loves cats so much that he is willing to spend his money to buy cat food and supplies. Not only giving his cat, he also often feeds street cats. With a happy face, he wanted to go to his house and meet his cat. But when on the way home, he saw a kid who was chasing his ball into the middle of the road. A car almost hit the kid, but with Jiwoo's fast reflexes, he managed to save the kid. All the pedestrians who were looking on were shocked, because the child, who was about to be hit by a car, suddenly disappeared and appeared on the side of the road. Yes, that is Jiwoo's ability. He has the basic power of speed. According to him, he used his power subconsciously because he saw that the child was in danger, and if he wasn't careful, others would find out. After Jiwoo came home, he immediately gave food to street cats. The 3 street cats are cats that come every day and at the same time to ask Jiwoo for food. But there was something strange about them today, because they didn't want to eat their food, and they seemed to be telling Jiwoo to follow them. Jiwoo also followed them and found a fat cat who was injured. Yes, it was Kaiden. Jiwoo immediately took Kaiden to his house. It didn't take long for Kaiden to wake up. He doesn't remember when he passed out and wonders where he is now. Kaiden realized that he had turned into a cat. The last thing he did was use his power to enter the cat's body. According to Kaiden, he managed to transform into a different life form. Jiwoo was happy when he saw the fat cat conscious, and Kaiden knew that it was Jiwoo who saved him. However, Kaiden was a little annoyed, because Jiwoo kept talking to him. He also didn't expect that he, one of the strongest awakeners, was fed cat food. But after he tasted it a bit, he didn't think the taste was too bad. Finally, Kaiden was annoyed because Jiwoo kept asking him to play. Even though he is in cat form, Kaiden can still speak like a human. Jiwoo was shocked and scared when she heard a cat talking. Like boss, Kaiden told Jiwoo not to tell anyone he'd cut or he'd claw him to death. And after seeing the cat's body through the mirror, Kaiden was surprised that the cat's body that he possessed, according to him, was very fat and ugly and made it difficult for him to move. After being forced a bit, finally Jiwoo was able to take Kaiden to go to the animal hospital for routine checkups. When they were on their way, they met a gray cat. But there was something strange about the cat. Scars, red eyes, and even looks like a monster. Jiwoo remembered that he had met the gray cat before, but it was completely different from his current state. The gray cat started attacking them very aggressively. Jiwoo carried Kaiden and ran to save him from the gray cat attack. After running far enough, Jiwoo told Kaiden to go home, and Jiwoo said that he would do something to the gray cat alone. Kaiden knew that there was something strange about the gray cat, and it might hurt Jiwoo. Seeing Jiwoo, who wanted to risk his life, Kaiden thought that Jiwoo was stupid and too gentle. Kaiden ordered Jiwoo to kneel in front of him. By placing his cat's hand on Jiwoo's head, Kaiden injects a bit of strength into it. Jiwoo was shocked at this time. He felt power overflowing from his body and even electricity coming out of his body. According to Kaiden, he has electric powers and feels tired after he gives his powers away. Soon, the gray cat appeared and immediately attacked Jiwoo, but Jiwoo was quickly able to avoid it. Kaiden was surprised to see Jiwoo, who could easily avoid him. According to him, Jiwoo could read the gray cat's movements and analyze based on that. Jiwoo started attacking the cat with his basic speed, and added Kaiden's power to make the gray cat faint but not hurt. Seeing that, Kaiden thought that it wasn't a power given to him, and thought of Jiwoo as a power user or Awaken. Kaiden told Jiwoo that he had no idea he was an Awaken too. After that, a mysterious man appeared who stood on top of the tower. According to him, he could not find the samples he planted. Angrily, he said he had to awaken the seal that was in the sample with his power. Jiwoo treated the gray cat and according to him, he had to be taken to the vet immediately, but Kaiden told him not to do it because there was a possibility that if the gray cat woke up, it could become a monster again and injure other people. According to Kaiden, not only his body, but his strength has increased. This definitely wouldn't happen to a normal cat, as if the gray cat had become awakened. Then Jiwoo asked Kaiden during the fight with the gray cat what happened to him. Kaiden explained to Jiwoo that he had become an awakened. People with special powers are usually called awakened abilities. According to Kaiden, he doesn't know how this power comes from and how it can appear in humans. This ability is related to physical or mental abilities. Some awakened have telekinesis abilities, and some have destructive abilities, and some can gather strength and cause explosions. According to Kaiden, Jiwoo's core strength is moving at high speed, but maybe he can also do things related to that. When Jiwoo was a child, because of an incident, he accidentally used his powers, and his friends started calling him a monster. His strength is only known by his mother, and now he lives alone because his mother is doing work abroad. What Jiwoo was afraid of was that if other people found out about his strength, he would be kidnapped, experimented on, and his mother would be in danger. After Jiwoo confided in Kaiden and someone else heard it, it made him happy. Not long after, strange energy suddenly came to Jiwoo's house. Kaiden couldn't detect it beforehand because his strength was too weak. Suddenly, the gray cat woke up and immediately ran away from Jiwoo's house. According to Kaiden, he will accompany Jiwoo to chase the gray cat for fear that it will attack others. Because Kaiden could feel the energy of an awaken and added to Jiwoo's speed, they finally found the cat was with a man. Yes, it was an awaken. Kaiden told Jiwoo not to go there without a plan, especially when fighting an awaken. They saw that the gray cat also attacked the man, but the man easily avoided it and even counterattacked the cat with his awakened power. According to Kaiden, the slight movement of his hand indicated that the man had complete control over his strength, and judging by the power used on the cat, he was a psychokinetic. The man said that he was conducting experiments on animals to be used as samples. He chose the gray cat because the cat has a much better physique than the average cat. Unable to bear to see the gray cat being treated roughly, Jiwoo quickly used his strength and appeared before the man. The man was surprised because suddenly there was a young man in front of him and thought that Jiwoo would steal his experiment. The man uses his psychic powers, but in a blink of an eye, Jiwoo disappears with the gray cat. The man thought of Jiwoo as a tracker and he shouldn't use his strength too much. The man said he didn't expect them to find him so soon and had to leave before the other trackers arrived. With a happy face, Jiwoo was very happy to be able to save the gray cat without getting hurt. He was scolded by Kaiden because the man had seen it and Jiwoo didn't know what danger he would face. But Kaiden didn't expect it, because Jiwoo's speed exceeded his expectations and was even done right in front of the man. The man returned to his research facility and there was a student named Wooin. The man did not expect that he would lose his important experiment. The man also said he would have to leave the facility if the trackers found him and told Wooin to collect all the data to find the experiment. Several days passed and nothing happened. Since Jiwoo until now didn't know how to use his awakened power, Kaiden will help Jiwoo with the method he will show. According to Kaiden, his skills should be able to grow more quickly and efficiently. Kaiden explained, the root of the awaken ability lies in the heart. So every time your heart beats, your blood will carry the awakened energy from the heart throughout the body. Kaiden will put his awakened energy into Jiwoo's heart to help lower Jiwoo's energy that is circulating in Jiwoo's body. And Kaiden tells Jiwoo to remember this feeling. Kaiden started to put in his awake energy and told Jiwoo to endure the pain. Jiwoo can easily do what Kaiden does. Kaiden didn't expect that Jiwoo could quickly do it. According to Kaiden, it should have taken several months of training without rest to be able to do it, but Jiwoo managed less in one day. When Jiwoo came home from school, he saw someone being bullied. Yes, he is Wooin, a student from Awaken is doing an experiment. Wooin is Jiwoo's classmate, but Wooin is a quiet boy, so people rarely pay attention to him. Jiwoo tried to save Wooin, who was being bullied, and they started attacking Jiwoo. With Jiwoo's speed, he could dodge all the punches. The leader of the bullies told them to stop and would start watching Jiwoo from now on. They left. Even though Jiwoo saved him, Wooin ignored Jiwoo and left without saying a word. Then, Jiwoo and Kaiden went to the vet to check the gray cat for a routine checkup. At the same time, Wooin saw Jiwoo bringing his master's cat, which was used for the experiment. The next day, when Jiwoo was feeding the stray cats, Wooin came to meet Jiwoo. Wooin said to Jiwoo, the gray cat he brought last night was his lost cat. Jiwoo, who doesn't know anything, happy to hear that the gray cat has an owner. Jiwoo thinks Wooin is a good person because his classmate, and he also likes cats. Jiwoo immediately brought the gray cat to Wooin. But when the gray cat saw Wooin's face, the gray cat was scared and tried to run away because it remembered what its master was doing. The experiment. Seeing the gray cat was scared, Jiwoo suddenly hesitated to give the gray cat to Wooin. Wooin immediately knocked Jiwoo down and used his awakened power on the gray cat. But Jiwoo still persisted and started to stand up again. Wooin was surprised to see Jiwoo standing up again and thought of Jiwoo as a tracker. Wooin uses his awakened powers to attack Jiwoo and he is injured. Seeing that power, Jiwoo immediately knew that Wooin had a relationship with the man who injured the gray cat. Jiwoo also tried to attack Wooin with his speed, but Wooin already knew that Jiwoo was an awakened type of speed and he could handle it. According to Wooin, Jiwoo's strength is quite dangerous, but because he is careless and lacks experience, Wooin can easily handle it. Wooin said to Jiwoo, which group did he come from, and what was a tracker? After Jiwoo explained that he wasn't from the group or the tracker, Wooin thought it was a misunderstanding and thought that Jiwoo was dragged into the situation by accident. Wooin knows that Jiwoo is not that type of person by looking at his character. Wooin just let go of Jiwoo and said that Jiwoo must forget everything that happened, especially about the gray cat and his master. Wooin also left Jiwoo while carrying the gray cat. Jiwoo feels guilty because of what happened to the gray cat and must get the cat back no matter what. Even though he was injured, Jiwoo continued to follow where Wooin went. Jiwoo arrived at a building but didn't know where Wooin had gone. When he was going up the stairs, Jiwoo was surprised that Wooin's master was waiting for him. After seeing Jiwoo, the man immediately knew that Jiwoo was the one who had stolen his experiment sample. Jiwoo immediately tried to run away because of the danger, but was unsuccessful because the man used his awakened powers to attack Jiwoo. Jiwoo also felt pain because the attack injured Jiwoo's leg, which would make it more difficult for him to escape. At the same time, Wooin also came and explained to his master that Jiwoo was not a tracker and his condition was weak because of the battle with him. But the man didn't care and still hurt Jiwoo with his awakened power. Seeing Jiwoo, who was in pain because he was being tortured by his master, Wooin couldn't stand it and attacked his own master while saying he would not let Jiwoo die. Wooin's master was furious because this was the first time he saw Wooin like this. They started attacking each other with their awakened powers and did quite a bit of damage. Even though Wooin had tried his best, he still lost against his master because of the difference in strength. At the same time, Kaiden, who was looking for Jiwoo because he was worried that he had not come home, Kaiden saw Wooin, who was fighting with his master. Kaiden also saw the injured Jiwoo and started to approach him. Even though he was injured, Jiwoo remained conscious and told Kaiden to run because Wooin's master was very dangerous. Kaiden thinks that Jiwoo is a child who is too innocent. When he himself is hurt, he still thinks of other people. With a smile, Kaiden said, "Don't worry too much, and he'll take care of everything." Kaiden put his hand on Jiwoo. Suddenly a huge electric energy appeared. Kaiden returned to his human form and surprised everyone. Kaiden said to his master Wooin that he was so stupid because he couldn't make a dimensional wall to cover his little fuss. With the snap of his finger, Kaiden created a large dimensional wall. Wooin's master was surprised to see an awakener at this level. Kaiden said to Wooin's master that his actions were too much for them. The confused Jiwoo asked, "Are you really Kaiden?" Hearing the name Kaiden, Wooin's master was immediately frightened. According to him, Kaiden has the nickname Kaiden the Destroyer, and everyone in the world knows it. Kaiden is a world-level Awaken who likes to challenge other strong Awakens. If one-on-one, Kaiden never loses. Seeing the power of electricity previously made Wuen's master believe that he is really Kaiden, because there is only one person in the world who has such power. With fear, Wuen's master immediately apologized, and he didn't know that Kaiden had a relationship with Jiwoo. But Kaiden didn't care. With one big electric attack, Wuen's master immediately lost consciousness. According to Kaiden, he just used a bit of his power, but Wuen's master was already unconscious when Kaiden was about to kill him. Wuen intervened and apologized for his master's actions. According to Wuen, Kaiden the Destroyer is an Awaken with the strongest ability. Kaiden is known for destroying everyone who gets in his way. He is a cold person and is known for not socializing or caring about other people. Wuen thought, why does Jiwoo know someone like Kaiden? Kaiden said if Wuen didn't get out of the way, he would kill him too. At the same time, Jiwoo asked Kaiden to have had enough and not to kill them. Kaiden said that he had warned Jiwoo that the awakened world was not a safe world for him, that people in the awakened world killed people for no reason. What annoyed Kaiden was that they played with Jiwoo as they pleased. Jiwoo knows that he is wrong. All Jiwoo wants is not to make Kaiden kill people because of him. Jiwoo also said that Wuen had saved him and already considered him his friend. After seeing Jiwoo begging like that, it made Kaiden melt, and Kaiden granted Jiwoo's request not to kill them. Kaiden also warned Wuen and his master for the last time. If this incident happened to Jiwoo again, he would not hesitate to kill them both. After they returned, Kaiden healed Jiwoo with his awakening powers. According to Kaiden, Jiwoo's leg is broken, but there's no need to worry because it will heal in a few days. Because he used too much power, suddenly Kaiden's body turned back into a cat, and that annoyed him. At the same time, when Wuen and his master came back, suddenly a group of people came. They said they were from the association and would arrest Wuen and his master for doing illegal research. Those people are strong. They easily catch the master Wuen. The next day, suddenly someone called Jiwoo, his name was In-hyuk-gu, and said that he wanted to give advice, especially the power of awakening. He thought it would be better to meet in person. He also said that he was already at Jiwoo's house. Hearing that, Jiwoo was surprised and made Kaiden alert. The man says he didn't come to fight and hopes to believe it. In-hyuk-gu was also allowed to enter Jiwoo's house, but he felt nervous when he saw the fat cat that was next to Jiwoo. In-hyuk-gu said that he wants to be a support for Jiwoo and Jiwoo can live as Awaken. In-hyuk-gu knows about Jiwoo and Wuen's fight, but he doesn't know about Kaiden. He also studied Jiwoo's recent situation and checked Jiwoo's background, as his job was to oversee all ability users in his territory. In-hyuk-gu is also an Awaken who can manipulate the wind. Seeing that, Kaiden immediately knew that Jiwoo was the area where Jiwoo lived, and the leader of In-hyuk-gu was Ji-young-yu, a top-level awakened wind ability user. In-hyuk-gu said, teaching new awakeners about the basics of the awakened world is the responsibility of the regional leader. It was an agreement among the awakened group, the reason being that the world would be in chaos if they found out about people with abilities and situations that they didn't want to happen in their territory. Not only that, the goal of the region leader is to hope that the new Awakened doesn't use his abilities for bad purposes. In-hyuk-gu asked Jiwoo for his cooperation, and he left, but still felt a bad feeling of pressure at the sight of the fat cat. Kaiden felt relieved after hearing that this territory belonged to Ji-young-yu. According to Kaiden, Ji-young-yu is one of Korea's top-ranking awakeners who has a pretty good reputation. Kaiden also considers herself and her group to be shady people and will help awaken beginners like Jiwoo. A few days later, Jiwoo had fully recovered and started school again. Suddenly, the leader who used to bully Wuen asked Jiwoo to speak elsewhere. He is Jisik-yu, the younger brother of Korea's top-ranking awakened Ji-young-yu. Because Jiwoo was annoyed to see Wuen being bullied by him, Jiwoo also followed Jisik-yu to go to a construction site where there was no one. Jisik-yu heard a report from his sister that there was a new Awaken, and Jisik-yu was surprised that Jiwoo was a new Awaken user. Wanting to test Jiwoo's strength, Jisik-yu allowed Jiwoo to attack first. Annoyed, Jiwoo threw a punch that increased his speed to attack Jiwoo, but Jiwoo was able to avoid all of Jiwoo's attacks and even catch Jiwoo's punches. Jiwoo said that Jiwoo had to use his full Awaken power. Jiwoo was surprised that he was fighting an Awaken. Jiwoo also explained that he was part of his sister's group. Jiwoo used his wind power to attack Jiwoo, but Jiwoo was able to dodge because of his speed.